Hey everybody, and welcome to another episode of Shooting the Shit Uncensored. I'm your host, Piers Austin, and this is Mikey Bada Bing, and we are coming to you from Multi-Continental Wrestling Alliance on Facebook and on YouTube. And we are really excited to be having our guest Iceberg coming on in just a second. But before we get into this wonderful interview, I just want to give a special thanks to WCW Nation, Generational Wrestling Society, Wrestling Maniacs for allowing us to stream this interview in their groups also, and making our audience that little much more bigger as well. Also, I just want to say a special thanks to our sponsors. First off, Signal Studios. Signal Studios is a recording studio here in Sydney, Australia, owned by my good friend Rafi Tamasian. If you need some music, if you're a professional wrestler, you need a new entrance theme, hit up my boy Rafi. He'll be able to help you out. If you just needed some new instrumentals, you want to make your own sort of, song, write your own lyrics, hit him up. He'll be able to help you do that and send that music out to you. Next is Mayan Belts. Mayan Belts, they are the best belt maker in the world. If you want a custom championship belt, or you want to get your favorite replica championship belt, head up Eddie and Ira Williams on Facebook, and they will take care of you. They do some amazing quality work, guys, and you will absolutely love it. Next is my good friend Ashley Rodriguez's business, A-Rock Designs. A-Rock Designs, she makes custom cups, tumblers, keychains, hoodies, t-shirts, you name it, she makes it. And they do amazing work. They do a lot of wrestling themed cups and stuff like that. I've got one coming in, a CM Punk themed cup. Can't even talk. A CM Punk cup coming in, and I've also got 2 kids cups coming in for my little ones. But last but not least, I just want to give a special mention to Immortal Restoning. Jeff Parthay has started up his restoning business, and basically, if you have a championship belt that needs a facelift, needs an upgrade, needs those stones replaced, or has some stones missing, hit up Immortal Restoning, hit up Jeff Parthay, and he'll take care of you. And you can always mention our name to our sponsors. It won't get you very much, but at least it gives us that little much of an ego boost. But Mikey, we're going to be bringing in Mr. Iceberg. I'm excited for this
man,
one.
absolutely, bud. I'm hyped for this one, bud. The man that the Titanic had absolutely no chance against. The Iceberg.
Whoa. Dude, and this is your get, man. Like, Iceberg is a pretty rad dude, man. So,
Absolutely, man.
So should we shut the fuck up and bring him in, do you reckon?
Absolutely. If we don't, he's liable to bust us open, bud. He's definitely liable to bust us open if we don't shut the hell up and get him in there.
Iceberg, welcome to Shooting the Shit. How are you, brother?
I'm good, brother. How you guys?
Good morning, good sir. We good.
Mate, we are pumped, we are hyped, and we are really excited to have you on. Thank you so much for giving us a little bit of your time this morning. But first off, mate, how are you going in with all this coronavirus stuff around? Are you keeping your social distance at the moment?
Yeah, see, I live in Georgia, which over here is one of the dumbest fucking states because, like, my governor is a complete dipshit, and he decided to fucking reopen shit like way too early. And I looked at my family and I was like, I don't give a fuck what he said. What I'm saying is we're not going out and doing none of that shit.
Mm-hmm.
So, you know what I mean? But it's been all right, like spending time with the family, do a lot more talking. You know what I'm saying? Instead of everybody sitting around with a damn phone in their hand or watching the fucking TV all the time, you're actually getting a chance to talk to people again, and I've enjoyed that. So
it's kind of like that's the way that this generation has really become technology, like I remember I was talking to my wife and it's like seeing our kids with like the iPads and stuff like, and I'm like, man, like when we were like, my kids are 4 and 2, and I'm like, when I was that age, I was never inside. You know what I mean? Like,
right.
And it's a different world, man. But getting into you, Iceberg, how did you grow up in the Georgia area? Have you been there your whole life, man?
Yeah, I grew up here. Been here my whole life. So I mean, NWA on TBS was the territory that I got. So I mean, I fell in love immediately upon seeing it.
What are
Beautiful.
some of the names that you remember watching as a kid growing up that really made you fall in love?
Dusty, Abdullah, Flair, Bruiser Brody. I loved Terry Gordy. You know, Stan Hansen was another guy that, you know, I was lucky enough that we had like an 8-hour block of wrestling here on Saturdays that Joe Pedicino produced. God rest his soul. And one of the territories was AWA. So I was fortunate to get to see some of those guys. But yeah, man, those are the guys that I fell in love with, as a kid.
That's awesome.
Yeah. And what made you decide to eventually get into pro wrestling? Like, what was it that when did you decide to actually break in and try your hand at it?
So, if this fucking asshole on this boat don't get the fuck down the river with his loud ass, god damn! I hope you fucking drown.
Oh,
Son of a bitch! I'm sorry. No, so,
Iceberg, I feel like me and you, if I ever moved down to Georgia, I would be at your place all the time, drinking beer, hanging out, fishing, listening to loud ass music. I like this guy. I love this guy.
Hey man, let's do it. Fucking anytime you want to come down, man, let's do it. But no, I actually woke up one Sunday morning. This is no bullshit. I woke up one Sunday morning and I was bored as shit. Just bored as shit. And I got to thinking about it, and a friend of mine, he knew somebody that was in the business. So I called him up and I was like, hey, don't you know a guy that that throws shows around here that, might do some training or something? And he was like, yeah. And I was like, well, when do they train? So he said, well, they train on Sundays. So, they train today. And I said, well, fucking call him, find out what time, and let's go. So literally my venture into getting into the business was I woke up bored wanting to find something else to do, with my time and my life. I was bored. And so, yeah, that's how I got in.
Wow, that's something crazy. But you're sitting there one day and you're like, yeah, let's go, figure something else new. Let's go find somebody so we can get in the ring and wrestle. That's awesome though, man. That's kind of like my story too. Like, but I wanted to like do some wrestling. I wrestled over in Rochester, which ain't too far from me. One day I woke up because I watched wrestling as a kid, and I'm like, you know what? I got a buddy that runs a wrestling show. Let me see if I can get in there. It's just like, coming out of nowhere. But yeah, I completely see how that happened.
Yeah, man, absolutely. Like it just, it happened. And the guy was a dipshit that I went and met, but he invited me to his show, and I wound up eventually meeting the two guys that trained me. So that was the best thing that came out of that meeting that fucker.
And how did you find the training when you originally started?
It was, I loved every bit of it. You know what I mean? Like, even as a big guy, I mean, because when I started, man, I was almost 500 pounds, like for real.
Wow.
And, but dude, I loved it. I loved taking the bumps. I loved hitting the ropes. Like, I just wanted to know as much as I could about, what makes this shit work. Sure. And, like I said, luckily, like we would drive up to Marietta, which is north of Atlanta, every Friday. And we would train for a little while on Friday, get up Saturday morning, break the ring down, take it to the venue, set it up, set the chairs, all the bullshit up, get in, train a little bit. The show be over with. We tear the shit down, go back to whoever the promoter was screwing, whichever bitch's place that was that night. Go there, drink all night, get maybe 30 minutes of sleep, and then by 6 o'clock, we were driving back across town to set the ring up, and we would train from like 8 in the morning until like 8 at night, just
Man,
nonstop.
That's like the rock star life, straight up rock star life.
How did your body hold up
Dude,
taking? How did your body hold up taking the training? Sorry, go on. No, you go.
I was just gonna say, like, one of those crazy ass nights was like that's the first time I'd ever gotten color. Like I got fucked up and I was like, a piece of glass. And I hit the shit and I walked out of the bathroom and everybody's like, "What the fuck did you do?" I was like, "Nothing. Just seeing if I could do this shit."
just gigging.
Yeah, man. I mean, it was a gusher too. Like it was a gusher. So
stitches?
No, I never stitches. Always super glue.
Oh.
That's nuts, man. That's nuts.
That's hard as fuck, man. That's hard as fuck. So when did you actually make your debut, man?
So let's see. It was October of '98.
So yeah,
and it was a rushed thing, man, because I got started like in early August of '98 with my training, and so we're at the show one night, and my trainer comes up to me and he's like, "Look, so and so's not going to show up. Do you think you could go in and do like a 2-minute squash with somebody?" And I was like, "Yeah, like who am I putting over?" He's like, no, like you go out, you squash them. And I was like, "Yeah, I can do that." 2 minutes. And, I'm cocky thinking like, "Oh, it's fucking 2 minutes." You know what I'm saying? Dude, I got out there and I swear to God, it's probably the worst match in the history of wrestling. Like, clothesline is like all that came to mind. Fucking throw clotheslines, But no, that's how I got my start. Was a guy didn't show up, and then boom, there I was out there being thrown.
Opportunity just landed in your lap.
Absolutely.
Chris Nichols is in the house watching. He says Iceberg. So
what's up?
But,
what's up, Chris?
But so once you got into debuting and you in '98, how did you find going out and getting bookings? Was it because you were a fairly big guy that the bookings came a little bit easier for you because that's what most promotions were looking for back then?
Yeah, I think so. I was a big guy and I could move. Like I was always an athlete, even though I was big. I always played football, baseball, basketball. Like that was like one of my favorite things was fucking basketball. Like we'd play pickup games all the time. But just sports in general. So I was athletic and was agile for my size. So once guys saw that, and plus you could pretty much hit me in the head with an anvil and it wouldn't kill me. So it made it easy. It made it easier on me to get in,
And what inspired you to get into the more violent style of wrestling?
Like I said, when I started watching at age 4, my parents watched the NWA show at 6:05 every Saturday night. And so I can remember sitting in the floor, like right in front of the TV, watching that shit. And like I said, seeing, Dusty and Flair and, Tommy Rich was, that was still a thing. And, the guys do it, with the blood and Butcher again, like, and that whole thing with him, that's a full circle deal there. But I enjoyed that style, and that popped me was, fuck, this guy's bleeding. This shit's real. And that's what drew me in. I was like, this is what I'm interested in. This right here's got my attention.
It brings some legitimacy to it, really, doesn't it?
Yeah, it absolutely.
Yeah, it definitely does. And that's why I think that a lot of people, the more violent style of wrestling people are attracted to that, is because it does give it that strong feeling of legitimacy, of a real physical fight, of guys that are really trying to cause harm to each other. But early on, you started to begin getting mentored from Abdullah the Butcher. How did you get hooked up with Abby?
I couldn't hear the last part of that. I'm sorry.
I just said, how did you get hooked up with Abby?
Okay, so I was booked on a show down here locally where I live, and the guy, like the promoter's like, well, I've got Abdullah booked. We've got a limousine. We're gonna go up to his restaurant and pick him up. So I was like, he asked me if I wanted to ride, and I was like, hell yeah. That's the one guy that scared me to death.
Yeah.
Because the first live show that I ever went to was here, and in the same building that I would work with him first. But he and this local guy came through the crowd, like right towards a 11, 12-year-old me, and scared the shit out of me. You know what I'm saying? So, like, yeah. So we go up to the restaurant, and we walk in, and the promoter like walks up to him, and everybody's walking up, shaking his hand, introducing themselves, and so the promoter's like, so you're working Chick Donovan tonight? I'm sorry.
It's all right.
I'm sorry, Chick pops me because he's still got the do, man. He's an awesome dude. Anyway, and Butcher's like, no, I'm not working with him. And I was like, oh shit, like, and he comes and he puts his arm around me and he said, I want to work with him. And that was it. Like, he changed he changed the booking up and decided he wanted to work with me. And I was scared shitless. Needless to say, the rest of that day was not very calm. Not for me, inside my brain. And also on that show was New Jack. So
oh, really?
The one guy that I watched as a kid that interested me in the shit, and then the other guy that I caught on TV at 3 o'clock in the morning that got me interested back into it, both on the same damn show. And I wound up working with both of them that night, which scared the ever living shit out of me. I thought I'm gonna die, but at least I'm gonna die. Like, it'll be cool because it'll be like Abby and New Jack killed me, so
go down in history.
Fucking pop me, so, shit, let's do it.
And you start.
True story, man.
What were some of the things that Abby really helped with you, and how did he guide you along the way of your career? Because I did look in, and it was said that he was a mentor for a while.
Yes, absolutely, and still to this day, like my kids, like that's their grandfather. You know what I'm saying? My wife, that's her father-in-law. But he taught me from a big man vantage point, like this is how you need to work.
Yeah.
Like, you sell when it's time to sell. Like, because I wanted to get out there. I'm fresh, and like I want to show like all the shit I can do. And he's like, slow down, just slow down.
Mm-hmm.
The time will come. There's a time and a place for all the shit that you want to do. Just slow down. Work work the style. And it took me a while to like process, what that meant. And then, it clicked with me, I couldn't, and in real life, right? I can't have, someone 200 pounds, whether they're coming off the fucking ropes or jumping off a building, and giving me a shoulder tackle and me taking a fucking bump to it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Right.
It was like, so I had to mentally go, all right, fuck everything that they've told you, like, and not be a prick about it.
Right. Right.
Yeah.
I look, I can't. I'll sell as best I can for you, but like I've already been told, basically not to fucking sell for you. So if I'm a dick, I'm a dick. I'm an asshole in real life, so it didn't bother me that much.
And did you find you got a lot of backstage heat for that sort of style, like from a lot of guys?
No, man, if there was, like, I never encountered it. I did have like I had one older guy that I worked with, a guy that had been in, quite a bit longer than I had, and he was upset because I was getting to do things that he thought that he should be doing. I hadn't earned the right. I guess is how he felt. Because like I said, I started in '98. I went to Puerto Rico in 2000. So I wrestled this guy like right maybe a week before I went down, and like he tried, he like just tried to stretch the shit out of me, laying stiff shots, shit like that. But I mean, I got a pretty hard fucking head, so and I think I heard him once the shit was over with, because he was up there, high fiving his manager, which, the guy looked like he was like an 87-pound meth head that looked like one of the fucking Ramones gone wrong. And so like they're up there, popping each other. I stretched the shit out. I whipped his ass, and like I just walked up to him and I was like, "Good match, sir. Thank you." And turned around and walked the fuck off. I was like, "I gotta go pack my bag because I'm going to Puerto Rico," and walked the fuck off. And so it was just like that. I didn't slap him in the face, but I just kind of slapped him in the face with the fucking comment.
Yeah, you killed him with kindness, definitely, absolutely.
Yeah, fuck him.
That's one way to look at it.
I mean, it is what it is.
Oh yeah, man. But you then went to Puerto Rico after that. How'd you find working over there? Sorry?
It was I went down for it was like the big three Kings weekend.
Yeah.
Which is like the biggest time of year down there, especially for the wrestling. Mm-hmm. And so like Butcher got me hooked up with that. We went down for Carlos, and so me and a buddy of mine, we flew down, and the first night, we just kind of, we watched, and I was just in awe because I'm in fucking Puerto Rico, working for Carlos Colon. I'm not working right this second, but I'm down here working for a guy that I used to watch, WWC on that fucking 8-hour block that we got here,
right,
on Saturday nights. And then when the next nights when I got my chance, and it wound up being like me and One Man Gang working with Carlos and Abby. So, and it was at the baseball stadium, the Hiram B. Thorne Stadium, and it was like almost 13,000 people there. I remember that shit.
That's awesome.
The same fucking place. That's where Brody got killed.
Yep.
Okay. It's Brody died on my birthday, July 17th.
Oh man, that's crazy.
Wow.
That's nuts.
I'm working in the, at the baseball stadium where he got killed. The booker is fucking Invader 1, right? The one that killed Brody. His office is set up in the fucking bathroom in the shower where he killed Brody.
What?
So you have to go. Oh yeah, you have to go. You have to go talk to this motherfucker, right? In the place where he killed, one of the best to ever fucking do it.
Oh.
I'm fucking speechless right now, dude. Holy shit.
Huh.
Yeah,
What year was this, brother?
This was 2000. It was January 2000.
Oh.
Fuck.
Yep, January 2000.
That's some crazy ass shit.
Oh yeah. My
just
God.
Whoa.
Like the fucking stars just, you know what I mean? Like they're aligning, and I'm thinking like wrestling wants me to die. You know what I'm saying? Because like at first I'm the Butcher and New Jack, you know what I'm saying? For the very first time together, like I got my cherry pop from both of them same fucking time. Now I'm down here in Puerto Rico, which is crazy enough as itself. Working in this fucking stadium, and the guy that's doing the fucking booking is the guy that killed one of my heroes.
Fuck.
Jesus.
And I have to go stand pretty much where Brody laid there bleeding. You know what I mean? Like it was so fucking tacky, man. The fact that, he set his office up in there and that's where you had to go. It was like, you know what I'm saying? I was like, dude,
that's so classless.
It is, man. It is. It's like almost like little man syndrome. He goes
tasteless
out and gets he goes
Dude,
out and gets the fucking dick extension and still nobody gives a fuck. You know what I'm saying?
Do you think he did that, like having his office there, did that as like an intimidation factor? Like then like, oh, no wrestler would try and fuck with me if I'm like,
I think so. I think so.
Yeah, trying to be Billy
really
Badass.
I really do. I think that I think that was his way of asserting his authority. You know what I mean?
Swinging his dick, basically.
Yeah, exactly.
Jesus, what a fucking Firt Loop.
God, man.
Jeez, that's and how long were you in Puerto Rico for?
We went down like I said, it was for the Three Kings weekend.
Yeah, just that weekend.
The first show, like I said, we didn't work. The next night was at the stadium. And my mind's fucking blown because, like, again, there's one man gang with someone else like that I watched and admired because he was a big man.
Right.
And, we're working like the main spot, because it's the fucking, it's Butcher and Carlos, like the two fucking gods of Puerto Rican wrestling, and like it's the fucking main. They had the heavyweight title match went, and then it's us, like this fucking kid who's barely got his fucking feet wet, and I'm working with three guys that I used to watch on TV that, like, I was just like, I was marking out inside, but like it was, and I took an ass whooping like them. they whooped my ass, and I sold like a son of a bitch for them. And goddamn, I bled buckets. But
I bet, man.
It was amazing, And then the next day, God, it's hard to jump into the next day unless you talk about, getting done from that second show, going back to me and my buddy stayed in this shitty motel down there, right?
Yeah.
And Butcher's like, why don't you guys come back to my to my hotel? And we were like, all right, So we showered, we headed over to their place. Hadn't been there yet. They're staying in this like fucking 5-star fucking hotel that's got a casino and shit in it, you know, and like he's playing fucking poker, Butcher is, and then he decides he wants to go and hey, let's go find some pussy. So we
Abdullah the Butcher.
fuck, that sounds like a great idea to me.
So you went on a pussy hunt with fucking Abdullah the Butcher. That's
Abdullah took him chicken hunting, dude. That's freaking awesome.
Brother, so we get this fucking taxi. I'll cut it short. I swear to God. We take this fucking taxi, and me and my buddy, we're shit faced because as soon as we got to Butcher's hotel, he handed us a stack of vouchers that was probably about 2 inches thick for like free rum drinks, and we're just fucking killing them. You know what I'm saying? And but we hop in this van, and it seemed like we rode forever. But we wound up in it looked like it might have used to been like the town square.
Yeah.
Right.
It was old San Juan. We were in New San Juan. He takes us to fucking old San Juan. Big fucking difference in them two places. Let me tell you that shit. So me and my buddy get out of the taxi, and we're just kind of standing there, you know, waiting on Butcher to get out, and because he's taking us to the strip joint, and we're standing there, and I swear to God, it's like 50 guys start coming from like all around us, and my buddy's like, "Hey, dude, I think we might be fixing to die," like because we were like. We were the only two gringos there. You know what I'm saying? And so like they get within about 25 feet of us, and the fucking passenger door opens up on that van. And when Abdullah gets out, it was like the fucking light had been turned on and all the roaches scattered. They fucking feared him, respected him that much, and they fucking all dipped. And I don't know where the hell they went. I have no fucking clue. It literally was like cutting the damn light on, and the fucking when the roaches scatter, you don't know where they go. That's how.
No shit. That's total respect and fear for that guy. Those people know, man. They know.
Yeah. Absolutely.
That is absolutely
that's nuts, dude. That's fucking nuts.
Yeah, so like we stayed up, like bar hopping until like I don't know 5:30, 6 o'clock that morning. We had to be back at his hotel at 8 to head to the fucking next town. Yeah.
Rock stars. Fucking rock stars.
Man, that is not. I like, to me, that would be like such a surreal moment as having Abdullah the Butcher coming over and going, "Hey, let's go get some pussy and hit the strip club." Like, what the fuck?
How do you react to that, bud? Like,
like Pussy Patrol with fucking Butcher.
Abdullah wants to go freaking drinking and chicken hunting. Oof.
Yeah, like he want, like he wanted a fucking bitch, so he, it's like he like I swear to God, man, like it was like he had his fucking choice. He had his fucking choice.
That's nuts.
So,
oh my God, that is ridiculous. Like that, far out. But Abdullah the Butcher definitely sounds like someone who has been a mentor to develop and make the man that you are today, Iceberg. But just want to say special shout out to our friend Chris Nichols. He's marking out right now. So I think I'm marking out right now after hearing these.
Absolutely.
I've got to at some point, like me and Chris have got to link up because we're both here in Georgia, and Chris actually used to come when I was working for I can't remember if he came during the Wild Side era or if it was during the NWA Anarchy era. But he used to come actually, and we were talking about it. And, once I found the VOH, you know what I'm saying, and Chris and I got to talking, and he realized, because I go under my name, my shoot name on Facebook, and I guess he just kind of put two and two together and was like, oh, you're that guy, and so like Chris has been like always been so cordial to me, and so I mean that's a guy I've got to hang out with at some point. Like Chris is a cool dude, man. Very cool
man.
Dude.
Yeah, if you want, if someone wants to thank Iceberg, he's the one that actually got me into the promo game, and like we were buying belts one day, and we got matching belts, and we clicked that day, and it went from there. And then one day I get a message from Mr. Iceberg himself saying, "Hey, I think you should try this this promo game. I'll give it a shot." And fucking dude added me, and it blew up from there. So I gotta thank you for that, bud, man. You're pretty much you're the maker. You're my Abdullah. You're my Abdullah.
That's an honor, dude. I appreciate it. But I knew watching, like, because I think I'd seen a promo that you had done, like one or two, I believe, and just from talking, maybe that's what it was. You and I talking, like that was one of your favorite aspects of the business was the promo, and so like I knew, I was like, if he loves a promo that much, like I guarantee you he can tell a fucking story. And fucking Mike is fucking amazing. Like he's one of the best promo guys that I've ever seen. Like that.
Man, you got fucking goosebumps right now, man. Thank you. I appreciate it, Iceberg. I really do, man.
Hey, brother, it's all true, man. It's all a fucking shoot. Like
that's how I met Mikey, man. I met Mikey doing a promo.
Yeah.
Right.
We did a promo tournament, and me and Mikey met in the finals. I'd never done promos before, and I made it to the final, and I went up against Mikey and didn't know what I was expecting walking into that, and after watching Mikey's video, I just went, I'm fucking done. Like, you win, bud.
I'm telling you, like, I swear to God, like, I never was a promo guy because, like, I never talked. Like, so I carried that part of Butcher along with me. For the longest time, I always had a manager. I always had a mouthpiece. Now I would do promos without saying shit. My facials, I was told, I could do a promo, get a fucking point across just by my facials and like
body language,
just different shit like that, But yeah, Mike's fucking amazing. Like I felt sorry, I felt sorry for like everybody, but like Chris over at VO, because Chris is amazing too.
Mm-hmm.
But I felt sorry for everybody else that was there when I invited Mike. I was like, he's fixing to go kill all of this shit.
And I appreciate it, Iceberg. I do, man. I appreciate you, man. I really do. The kind words and get me into it. So, like I said, I owe it to you, but I never heard about the game until, like I said, you showed me. So I truly appreciate you, bud, man. Thank you for that.
So
absolutely.
How'd you get linked into the VOH?
I think it. I think I bought it from somebody, and they just kind of like we were talking one day on online, and they smartened me up to this deal, and I was like, "Fuck, I gotta go check this out," and see what these guys are doing, and like there's some really good fucking talkers in that damn group, man. Mm-hmm. And these guys decided, if they ever decided that they wanted to get into the fuck business and do the physical part of it, they would be killing it, because the asses off. So I mean, I love just sitting back watching that shit, man. Like how, like you feel like you're fixing to watch. You feel like you're fixing to watch these dudes go out and fucking just battle in the ring. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like it
Yeah,
just
man.
it hypes you to fuck up. You know. So, thank you, Mike, for damn promoing, and thank you, Chris, for creating the thing and you doing your promos.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, man. No, those that's a place I just get lost. You know, I was in the VOH for a little bit, but obviously had other commitments that kept me busy. But you know, like it's such a great bunch of people over there that are just amazing human beings. But you know,
Man.
you mentioned Mikey mentioned that you're a belt collector as well. Is that something that you've been a big fan of? Is championship belts?
Yeah, always. You know, that was another thing. You know, like y'all excuse me for a second. Like it may get loud. Like I'm gonna
Nah, you're good, bud.
see that and grab me
I think you're just starting to freeze up there, man.
Yeah, I'll be right. I'll be with you.
But yeah, Iceberg and myself, we were both buying a belt from a maker. It was the Bullet Club belt, and we both seen it, and he got one, and then I was like, "Yo, is it worth it?" He's like, "Absolutely," and I was like, "Yeah, I'll grab one." And we actually both arrived at the same time, and that's the first time I met him was collecting belts.
That's right. That's right.
Yeah, man. I've seen that Bullet Club belt, man. It's absolutely gorgeous, man. So,
Yeah.
do you how many belts you have in your collection, Iceberg?
Right now, I've only got 4 right now. So like I love this shit, right? And I'm a collector of all kinds of stuff, but I'll move shit around too. Like I get bored with stuff easy. You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
See, like, and I know you because like I'll see you're looking for a belt, you're looking for a belt, you're looking for it. Mike's got the fucking belt. I see a couple of pictures. Mike's selling the belt. So,
yeah, dude. Yeah. Sounds about right.
Yeah, he's a hard guy to keep up with, man.
Man, I tell you what, I had 12 of them and I sold them all. I sold except for my Bray Wyatt belt. That stays, man. I get bored. I just like Iceberg. I get bored. They come in, I like them for a second, I get rid of them. Next one on the wall. Let's go.
Right.
Yeah, I don't know, man. I get him. I kind of like him.
I mean, you know,
I ain't getting rid of shit.
Yeah, like a couple I've got like is like, you know, like they were ring used shit.
Yeah.
You know, nothing major. You know what I'm saying? And then I've got like my like 2. One's like a legacy belt that I really have to have a new one made because I've done so much more shit since I had that thing done. And then the other one is it was my version of the NWA Wildside belt, which you know I never put it on TV, but it was my vision for it. It's UWF style on red leather, you know. So that's
awesome.
what I wanted. And,
yeah, beautiful.
So yeah, so like I love the fucking, you know, all the territory belts. That's my favorite shit. Like,
Yeah,
you know, the territory belts and customs, man. Like, and there's a lot of good customs out there that guys are having made now. So I mean, yeah, I love it, man. Like that just it pulled me in again as a kid. I was like, man, fucking Ric Flair's carrying around 10 pounds of gold. Like,
yeah.
you know what I mean? And then I was at a house show in fucking Columbus, which is about an hour drive from me. When first time I ever saw the Big Gold, it was before it had debuted on TV. He comes out and it had classic green and gold robe on. I remember the fucking rose. I remember this shit. He pulled it off, and I was like, "What the fuck is that?" Because that thing, you know what I mean? It was fucking huge, and it was fucking like it was just fucking beautiful. You know what I mean? And I was like, "Holy shit!" Like that right there. Because I always thought the NWA belt was the shit. You know what I mean? Like that was one of my favorite. But when I saw that big gold, I was like, everybody else is fixing to have to step their fucking game up because it's gonna like they're toting around fucking toys compared to this thing. So if that's what Crockett apparently that's what he was going for, well, he fucking got it.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
He fucking
Absolutely.
100%. That was something that stood out back then. But I tell you
Yeah.
what, man, if you want to get good belts, I got to hook you up with our sponsor, Eddie Williams from Mayan Belts. They make some gorgeous belts, bro. And yeah,
I like me and Eddie talk. Like I've
Oh,
got a
you know
couple
what?
of deals with Eddie.
Yeah.
And yeah, man, like is it Mayan? Is that how you pronounce
Mayan,
it?
yeah, Mayan belts,
Okay.
yeah.
Yeah. God, man, like it seemed to me like he almost came out of nowhere. You know what I'm saying? Like I had never heard of him until, you know, when Eddie started putting his shit out there. And I was like, holy shit, like this guy's fucking killing it, man. You know?
Yeah, man.
Beautiful fucking work. Beautiful work.
Yeah, dude, it's amazing. I got a belt coming from them very soon, and I'm really excited for it. It's going to be a beautiful belt. I know it. But one thing I wanted to touch on as well, man. You were part of TNA in the early days, in the pay-per-view, the weekly pay-per-view era. Yeah. So you were brought in to pretty much feud with Sandman. How did you get hooked up with the Jarretts and TNA in the early days?
Bill Barons, who is one of the most influential guys, not just in Georgia. Bill's a TV syndicator, and so he worked up in Tennessee and shit. And like I said, he was a TV syndicator, so like that's all he did. And he wrestling, that became like a point, for viewers. So like, he was putting these promotions are reaching out to him, and like he's getting them these TV deals and shit like that. And he was my guy at NWA Wildside. Like he was he was my, he not only was, he my boss, but like he was like my agent too.
Right.
So, and that's, Bill, that's AJ's agent, AJ Styles. You know what I'm saying? That's one thing about Alan. Alan like never has ever forgotten where he came from, but I got hooked up through Bill. I guess he showed them some stuff, and I was on it. And Jerry and Jeff both were like, "Yeah, fucking, bring him up, and let's, we'll see, what we can do with him." And so, another fucking asshole on a boat. Damn it. What a fucking god, man! Sleep in, people. The fish ain't going nowhere. God damn. But
You're 100%
so anyway,
right.
I got the chance to go up, and I worked. I think it was Explosion. Was that like the first version of like their B show? Wasn't it? Was it Explosion? Some shit like that. Yeah. And so I had a chance to work with David Young, who I worked with at Wildside, and so David and I knew each other well. We worked up in Philly for Ring of Honor together also. That match is online. I don't know if you've seen that, but it's just like a 6-man. So, okay. But anyway, I got to work with David, and we went out there, man, and just had a beautiful match. Like, we got along really well, really good friends, still are. And our chemistry was just always there. And David made me look like $1 million, and like right toward the end, I took a fucking like Arn Anderson spine buster on the floor up there, and we roll back in, hit the fucking finish, you know, like I'm dead at that point, but let's go ahead and fucking kill me completely, you know, and you know, do it in the ring where everybody can fucking see it, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And they apparently liked what they saw, and Dusty, he was backstage then. That's another God, I loved him. You know what I mean? He took time with me also. I worked for his Turnbuckle Championship Wrestling, you know, after WCW shut down. And he was another guy that, you know, was one of my idols growing up. And then to get to work closely with him, and, you know, really, he was more of he was more my friend than he was my boss, you know.
Yeah.
He gave me the best compliment, and it was the best and worst thing I ever heard in my life, right? So he goes, man, I wish I'd have had you 20 years ago. We'd have made a ton of fucking money. And I was like, damn. Like, here I'm sitting there going, hell yeah. Oh man, you just fucking blowed my whole shit up telling me we would have made a bunch of money. And I know what you're gonna pay me. I know what's in that envelope dream. I know what's in it.
Did you have a chance to really learn a lot from Dream?
Yeah, you know, I did, man. He's so, you know, Dusty kind of like would keep to himself. You know, because like you stay away from him because like he's running the whole shit, right?
Mm-hmm.
So he's got enough shit to do. But I would sit and wherever he was dressing, I made sure I was close by so that I could listen to him, you know, just talk and
Right.
explain why you did this here and that there. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And the psychology and the shit is, I learned a lot of that from him.
That's
you know?
awesome.
So yeah, man, he was, but we came through the back and he was like, you know, you didn't have to take a spine buster on the floor. Like they were going to give you a fucking job anyway. You know what I'm saying?
And you're like limping to the back going, fucking great.
Yeah, that's fucking awesome.
Pricks.
Yeah.
So I got a question for you. Along with all these people that you've met and work with and got mentored by and became friends with, I hear a lot about the Good Brothers. How did you and Doc Gallows get together and became who you guys are? Like, friendship and with the Good Brothers.
So what happened was, back in I want to say like 2014, we both were doing this show up in Rome, Georgia. It was like a fan fest. They called it Superstars of Wrestling. It was fan fest, and we wound up working a match. It was me and my partner Tank, and it was Doc and this fucking guy that was dressed as Lord Humongous, like, yeah, I know you're the fucking original, you know what I mean? Like that's the way he carried himself anyway. And this dickhead proceeds to tell me how we'd worked each other one time over in fucking Mississippi, and I was like, oh yeah, and he's like, oh yeah, man. I was like, well, how was the match? What'd you think? And he's like, oh, it was great, man. I said, dude, I've only been to fucking Mississippi one time. And they fucking flew me in to do a goddamn run-in on a fucking show. I didn't work your ass. You know what I'm saying? But we worked, we had that match, man, and we just kind of went, we went kind of all over the fucking building, and I think Doc had seen me like doing some indie stuff,
right?
Because he was in Georgia, and I kind of had an idea of who he was also. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But we had good chemistry, and then so fast forward a couple of months, and I see that he's running the joint show with this guy, literally 15 minutes from my house.
Nice.
So I shot him a message and was like, look, man, I live over here. If you need like any help, like as far as promoting, like I'll go hang posters, you know what I'm saying, put out flyers, shit like that. And he sent me a message back and he was like, do you mind if I call you? I was like, hell no. So I sent him, the number, and he calls and we start talking, man. And we were on the phone for probably an hour.
Nice.
I told him, I said, look, I know a guy that works at the radio station over here. I said, I can get you on. Like if you want to come on and do an interview, I should fuck time for them every time. My buddy, he'll do it for me, as a favor. And
right.
So that's what wound up happening. He came over, we had breakfast, and went across the street. He did the radio shit, and then he was going to check the venue out. He wanted to check the one out here in Thomas and where I lived, and then the one that he was, running the show at. And so he was like, "Hey, you guys want to like follow me?" He was married at the time to somebody else, and whose name I shall not mention. She's a sweet gal, but she could be crazy. So yeah, like we kind of spent half the fucking day together, and he was like, he said, look, man, he said, I've already got the show booked up, I couldn't use you, and I'd love to. And I said, look, dude, I didn't reach out to you, to get a fucking booking. Like I reached out to you to, because fuck, you're coming here, and I just want to be a damn good guy and
right.
Help out. You know what I'm saying? And so like that pretty much was it, man. I went over the day of the show, and I forget who it was, but again, it was somebody didn't show up, and it wound up. I wound up working. It was the guy that actually trained Doc. It was him and one of the guys that Doc trained with, and myself. And we worked Doc, we worked Tamatonga, and
nice.
We worked Ming. So we did a 6-man.
That's awesome.
So Ming was somebody else that scared the shit out of me.
Yeah, absolutely. It's me.
Reputation, man.
Like I got to work with him, and that match is online somewhere. It's on YouTube somewhere. But yeah, that was it, man. Like we, worked and just had like it was like I knew those guys forever. Like it felt that good, it felt that right to me. Anyway,
that's awesome. And, that's so awesome.
That was pretty much it, man. Like, and we've been friends ever since. So
that's awesome. That's so cool.
Yeah,
they're good brothers, man. Doc seems like one of the coolest guys, man.
Absolutely.
He is, man. He's so like he's so fucking laid back. You know what I mean? He likes to have a good time. Obviously, like he's got a sense of humor. That fucking Sex Ferguson shit, all that shit he does. You know what I mean? And so yeah, I'm supposed to go see him tomorrow.
Yeah, I've actually been in contact with him since I messaged him about a week ago about coming on my show and doing an interview, and he said, "Yeah, man, no problem. Just got to wait the time up, and I'm in." So yeah, I'm really looking forward to talking to him. He seems like such a fun character and such a great human being. Sit down and talk to, man. But we're nearing that 1 hour. Well, we're past that 1 hour mark now. And Iceberg has given us of his time, and it's been great learning about his career. But it is that time of the show, Mikey. You know what time that is. It's the time of Guess That Aussie Slang, where I'm going to have Iceberg, our guest for this evening, from the United States, Georgia to be exact. Now, Iceberg, this is how the game goes. I'm going to use an Australian slang word and I'll use it in a sentence, or I'll use an Australian saying and I'll put it in a sentence for you. You have to guess what the fuck I'm talking about. Okay?
All right.
All right, let's go. You ready?
Yes, sir.
Okay. I saw Mikey at the bar the other night, and you should have seen this ugly chick. He was passion. What was he doing to this ugly chick?
Passion. Fuck, humping her leg.
Passion's like a like passion is like a sloppy drunken kiss, like that sort of shit.
Well, that makes sense.
Yeah. All right.
He kind of was humping her leg.
Yeah, all right. So I got another. All right, we got some more. So
Right.
fuck, I'm rooted.
Say that one more time.
I am rooted.
You're rooted?
Yeah.
Dude, put your dick away.
No, if I was rooting, if I was rooting, that's what I would be doing. I'd be having sex. But when I say I am rooted, it means like I'm fucked, I'm tired, I'm exhausted, I'm rooted, I'm knackered.
Okay.
Hey, Iceberg, you want to come over to my place this weekend, mate? We can drink some piss.
Drank some piss?
Yeah, you want to drink some piss?
Oh, sure. Fuck it. I'm drinking the piss right now.
Drinking,
give me a sponsor.
That's it. Drinking piss is getting on the alcohol. Drinking the piss.
Oh, shit.
Awesome.
Hey, Iceberg, can you pass me a durry?
Pass you a what?
A durry.
A durry?
Yeah, dart, mate. Can you pass me a durry?
Fuck it. A lighter? I don't know.
Very, very close. I feel like I should give you a point for that. No, it's a cigarette. Pass me a cigarette, a durry, a dart.
See? Damn it. Should have known that shit.
All right. So we're going to go a couple more. We're having fun here. All right. Fuck me. I was too loud. Now my missus has woken up and she's cracked the shits.
She's cracked the shits.
Yeah, fuck, she's cracked the shits, mate. Big time.
So she flipped the fuck out.
Yeah, she's pissed the fuck off. Is that
Yeah,
all right.
she flipped the fuck out, pissed the fuck off.
So we'll go.
I dig this shit.
All right. We got a couple more. Oh,
Yeah,
fuck.
absolutely.
It's MILF outside today. What does that mean? It's MILF outside today. What does that mean?
Shit, cloudy. I don't know.
No, over 40 degrees Celsius and fucking hot.
You have what?
Over 40 degrees Celsius and fucking hot.
Gotcha.
So the word is what though? Is said MILF?
Yeah, it's MILF out. No, we say
I just got it. It just clicked. Over 40. Okay, gotcha. I got it.
Oh, come on, Mikey, get with it, brother. I know it's early morning. So we're going to go one more.
All right.
Mate, I was up at a sparrow's fart.
Hang on. Let me stick my head inside here because like there's fucking a big truck or something coming down the fucking highway. All right, run that by me one more time.
I've been up since the sparrow's fart.
I have no idea. I have no fucking idea.
I've been up early this morning.
It was a sparrow's fart. Jesus, dude.
Chris Nichols said he's in the middle of the store working. He's cracking up. People are staring at him because he can't stop laughing. That's your explain game. Iceberg, you have done really well. Iceberg, can you please tell everyone where they can find you and support you and follow you?
Oh man, find me on Facebook under Edward Chastain. Instagram is iceberg _ EST _ 1998. And I know I got Twitter, which I haven't used in forever, but it's NWA, all capital NWA Iceberg on Twitter. So
there you go. And I just want to say a special thanks to our sponsors again, Signal Studios, A-Rock Designs, Mayan Belts, and Immortal Restoning. And also thank you to Mikey, who makes all of our lovely artwork. He's also a co-host and an admin of ours here at MWA. And we are so glad that everyone has decided to tune in and watch. Iceberg, thank you so much for joining us and giving us your time. Please hang back till we take this offline. We can have a chat offline. But guys, please make sure that you tune in Saturday, 9 p.m. USA Eastern, which is 11 a.m. Sunday, Sydney time. I'll be sitting down with Homicide. Mikey, I think you're joining me for that one as well.
I will be there.
And guys, again, Iceberg, thank you so much. I'm Piers Austin. This is Mikey Bada Bing. This has been Shooting the Shit. Say hi to your mum for me, and we're out of here. Catch you next time, guys.
Thank